I'm Andy from Competitive Cyclist, and today I'm here to share my thoughts on two bibs that may be at the top of your wish list. The Assos Mille GTC KIESPANZER C2 and Rapha's great-looking cargo bib shorts. Strap in, because I'm gonna shoot them out head-to-head and try to figure out which one's right for you. Let's start with the Rapha cargo bibs. Rapha knows gravel, and it shows in these shorts. The fit is dialed in for all-day comfort with a snug yet non-restrictive feel that's perfect for those long adventures. However, I found them to be a little more roomy than other bibs I own that are the same size. What that means is that if you find yourself feeling a little restricted in other bibs, you're gonna find the Raphas to be far more comfortable. In other words, if you're not built like a pro tour bike racer and you like to have a post-ride beer or two, these are gonna fit you great. The lightweight, breathable fabric keeps you cool when the heat is on, and the water resistance is nice because it sheds moisture and dries super fast. The chamois is like every other Rapha bib I've owned. It's among the most plush and supportive I've got in the drawer. And as expected from Rapha, the signature design details stand out in a crowd without being glaring or overdone. I love the subtle dotted reflective elements, and the ever-present pink is a perfect callback to their early first-generation bibs and jerseys. By contrast, the Assos KIESPANZER bibs are a take-no-prisoners, highly technical piece that's blazing a new trail for gravel and cargo bibs. Assos has always been the aspirational bib short for all cyclists. They've always pushed the limits of design and construction, and their gravel offering continues in that trend. The fit is second to none, with a tailored feel that hugs your body in all the right places. The fabrics are top-notch, offering a balance of breathability and durability that's tough to find in other brands. And of course, the chamois is pure luxury. It's like they finally found the perfect balance between funky design ideas and comfort, but I'll come back to that in a second. The attention to detail, from the construction to the finishing touches, man, it's clear Assos still sweats the small stuff unlike anyone else. One of the big small things they thought of was the fabric on the side panels. It's an extra durable stuff called bunny hop, and it's strategically placed to provide a barrier against abrasion from trailside bushes, thorns, and other obstacles. And it's also there to protect the shorts in case you hit the deck. And if that happens within 30 days of your purchase, Assos actually has a free crash replacement policy. Pretty cool. However, I have to tell you that I haven't worn Assos since they sent me the first generation of this bib to test back in 2018. From around 2004 to 2018, Assos was all I would wear, period. 2018 was around the time they started experimenting with the Golden Gate chamois concept. What that means is like the chamois kind of floats like a bridge above the actual lycra of the bib. And that original Golden Gate chamois did not fit my chamois area at all. It was too wide, too thick, and there was way too much material up in the front of the bib. So when I got the KIESPANZER, which by the way translates to gravel tank, I had a pretty bad taste in my mouth and fairly low expectations. When we pit these two against each other, there's a ton of similarities, and they both have everything you want in a gravel bib. A killer chamois, 4 roomy mesh pockets, and a bib strap and upper system that puts everything on lock. Unfortunately, for me, Rapha just didn't stick the landing. These shorts kind of feel like the past, and Assos feels like the future. Here's what I mean. The looser fit of the Rapha bibs didn't really work on my smaller frame, and the legs were too short, with leg grippers that tended to ride up on my skinny legs, especially if I was wearing imbrication. They're also $40 more than the Assos bibs, which, in my opinion, are an underpriced technical marvel. On the Assos, the hip and back pockets are stitched at angles that make them much easier to access. The inseam is slightly longer, and the leg grippers have the same level of compression as the legs, which for me is table stakes in a good bib short. The bib straps are thick and substantial, but to my surprise, they just vanish when you put them on. And praise the Lord, The Clinique colored Golden Gate chamois has completely changed since that ill-fated first generation. It harkens back to the Assos Mille bibs I rode and loved every day back in the 2000s. It's super thick under the sit bones, has a nice channel as you move forward from there, and the overall thickness beyond that has decreased dramatically. I don't need a super thick chamois, and for too many years, Assos over-indexed in that department. So it's nice to see them dial things back down for a change. So for me, the Assos KIESPANZERs are really the surprising winner of this shootout. They fit me better, they're more comfortable, they're more durable, and I can't believe I'd ever say this about Assos, they're the more affordable of the two. And that's not to say the Raphas are bad, they're not. If I was 5'10" and 175 instead of 5'10" and 155, I'd probably have a very different impression of the Rapha bibs. And if they dropped the price, well, then it'd be very hard to pick a winner. The chamois is very, very comfortable, and I've got a soft spot for the Rapha logo. I always have. But in this case, I gotta go with the KIESPANZERs. And now our friend Ian's gonna come up and ask me a few questions about my review on these bibs.
Thanks, Andy. That was a great review of the bibs. I'm definitely an Assos guy myself. That's my favorite company. They seem to fit me the best.
They were my favorite for a while, and they're back in the rotation now.
Yeah, one of the questions I do have for you though, because I do like more simple bibs sometimes as well that have less seams. Do you feel like this kind of clicked into fit a little better because it had more seams? Was there any issues with any of the seams, like with abrasion or anything like that?
I didn't notice any abrasion from any of the seams. I didn't feel like there were too many. I think what you have to remember about what Assos is doing with all these panels is they're kind of borrowing from like carbon layup technology, right? Like when Cervelo's building bikes, Specialized is building bikes, they're taking multiple swatches and patches of carbon fiber and laying them up in different places to create a bike that moves and breathes and fits and rides better, right? Kind of what Assos is doing here. They're putting in more panels so that the short moves better, the short fits better, the short flexes and contracts better, kind of like a carbon bicycle frame. So some may see more seams as a bad thing. I don't. I see that as them fine-tuning the way these things fit, and it really works. They've got it down to a science.
Do you feel like one was better for warmer temps than the other, more breathable maybe?
The Raphas did because of the water-resistant fabric. They felt a little less breathable than the extremely breathable Assos, right? That's not to say that they were hot, that they were uncomfortable, but yes, they did feel a little less breathable and made me question whether or not I would ride them on like a super-duper hot summer day. They'd probably be fine, but I'd end up reaching for the Assos. And quite honestly, I find myself reaching not for black bibs anymore. I have blue bibs, gray bibs, olive drab colored bibs that I wear on sunny days.
Yeah, the colored bibs is sort of becoming a trend. How many white bibs?
No, I'm too much of a hot mess to ever use a white bib. Every time I wear a white shirt, I eat Italian food and it gets all over it. So like, I wish I could pull off a white bib like Mario Cipollini in the 2000s, but that's like a one-ride kit and it goes in the trash.
Yeah. I actually really do like Rapha's materials on a lot of their stuff. Admittedly, I haven't worn it in probably 2 or 3 riding seasons. But something I did notice about some stuff I bought in the past was some durability issues. I mean, Assos is known for being super durable, but do you think there were any issues with durability or might be with these Rapha bibs?
I mean, it's too soon to tell. I've only been riding for 3 months, and in those 3 months, maybe wore these 5 or 6 times and these 5 or 6 times. I think that the tail of the tape for me is I use a saddle bag with a Velcro strap, and typically I'll get some abrasion of the Velcro on the inner thigh toward the back. There isn't any.
Right.
I mean, I think that's a good sign that this is a durable material. I haven't looked at the Assos. I think it's going to be the same story there.
Right.
Yeah, no pulls, no abrasions on the Assos, so that's an early indicator that it's a good sign. I've personally not had any quality issues with Rapha, but I haven't owned the newest generation of Rapha. Like my last pair of Rapha bibs was 7, 8, 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So I can't really speak to the overall quality, but first glance, it seemed to be pretty solid.
Yeah, and same for me. I mean, Rapha's gone through some ownership changes and stuff like that, and some differences in their manufacturing. So that's great to hear. What did you put in the pockets? These all have lots of pockets.
Yeah.
What did you put in the pockets, and how did it ride?
So they have leg pockets, thigh pockets, whatever you want to call them, and then they have back pockets as well. And I guess that's what these loops are for.
Yeah, to help pull it out. Yeah.
To help pull it out, help get into it. I've got other manufacturers that have these back pockets on the bibs, and they just don't make sense to me because I'm wearing a jersey that has pockets, it's probably gonna have stuff in it that's easier to access and faster to access because it's on top. I'm personally not doing a ride that's so long that I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pockets worth of stuff. Plus, everybody's running a handlebar bag or a top tube bag now. And if you're at a really good event or you kind of know your route, you're gonna have a gas station or a feed zone. So back pockets are neat. It's a bit overkill. But one thing that does allow you to do is you don't have to wear a cycling jersey. You can wear a loose-fitting active t-shirt if that tight-fitting thing really isn't your jam, right? So then they become super functional and they become very useful. What did I put in these pockets? Threw my phone in there, threw a GoPro in there, goos, bars, gels. The thing I really use these for is trash.
Okay, yeah.
I'll eat a bar, I'll eat a gel, and I don't want to stuff the nasty, sticky wrapper back in there with like my phone or my or any other food. So I just stuff it in there, and that's where I keep the trash. Come to a trash can, pull it out really fast, and throw it away. But yeah, the phone, I have an iPhone 14 Pro. Stayed in there, locked down, didn't move around, hardly noticed it was there.
That's awesome. And some things that I have, like sometimes in gravel races, like for example, we have a mog that has like a little dropper post on it, so I don't really like to run a saddlebag, so sometimes I'll put some flat stuff in those pockets back there. But when there's stuff in the back pockets of these, do you think you could still use your jersey pockets for food and stuff like that, or do you think that would start to become a little crowded?
Could I? Yes. Would I? No, because then I'm gonna have 2 layers of junk on my back, banging around. If I'm hitting bumps and bumping around, then it's gonna be knocking into my back and knocking into the other stuff. So from a comfort standpoint, it's not something I would personally do. Could you do it? Sure, go ahead. It might just be a little too much stuff back there. Might get hot, might get uncomfortable, might bounce around and beat up your back a little bit.
I really like your point about just wearing the loose-fitting shirt. Something that's becoming more of a trend in cycling right now, and that makes a lot of sense for these particular bibs.
Yeah, that's I think the true application of these sort of multiple pocket shorts is the rider that just doesn't want to wear that skin-tight thing and look like a sausage.
That's fair enough. Well, that was great, Andy. That's all my questions. If you have questions at home, please leave those down in the comments. If you're looking to buy any of these or you have questions that you want to talk to somebody about, our gearheads are available. You can call them up or you can chat in on the website. Yeah, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you out on the gravel roads.
See you out there. Thanks, Ian.
Thank you.